One of the most amusing things for me to witness in Facebook groups and human design communities is when people ask about making money and how quickly human design experts get offended and angry at such question. How dare you ask such thing? We are here to be aware. We are not here to have money. And if you end up homeless, that might just be your path, as long as you're following strategy and authority. Now I'm going to make this video very practical, and I'm going to show you an example. This is my own chart and my own personality side. So the first thing we can see is with this sun that I am the 70% of what I'm being imprinted with, what I'm being shown, what is being put in front of me to think about by the sun is how to gather resources, and not only how to gather them, but with the third line, how to distribute them, how to help others with the resources that I gather. And this is not only financial. This is definitely not financial for me in this point of my life, but at the moment I see these having resources in a sense of having a lot of knowledge, having a lot of individual insights. This is an individual gate. And how I'm supposed to work with it is through more individuality. So it all really starts, without going to design side, on the personality side, it all starts with my nodes, with my correct perspective. So I am here to see limitations. I'm here to see the limitations that come from the stories and beliefs that come from specifically fixed stories and beliefs. And I love these. I love immersing myself in new ideas, in new systems, in new disciplines, and I embrace them wholeheartedly in the beginning. And then what happens to me slowly over time, it goes over to my north node, my perspective transfers over, and I start seeing the limitations. I start seeing what these systems and these beliefs are lacking and how they should be retold. And that is my correct outer authority. So if this is something that bothers you about me, it just means I am not on your fractal, or you are not on my fractal. And that is okay. Now, how I deal with the information that the sun is imprinting me with is through my earth. Earth is where I am. Earth is where I work from. It's what I do. And so with the 8.3, it's again individual. I work with it in a way of having my individual insights. And 8 is a gate of contribution. And it's a gate of contributing to something that already exists. It's group contribution. So it's not that I will come up with a new idea and start a system of my own. No, I work with a system that already exists, because I'm not able to see limitations of something that doesn't exist, of something that is not a part of a experiential process with a 56. It's again emotional. It's about what people are experiencing with that 56. So if you don't know, every abstract gate is really directly connected to the solar plexus. So what I'm dealing here with my 4 gates here is individuality and emotionality. So there is no logic here. There is no kind of splenic themes here at all. You can also notice that I don't have those in my tone. My tone is once again emotional. And so what I am here to do is really be subjective about my experience. My job is not to be objective. That's not for me. That is a job for a lot of you. I am not somebody who's carrying 6 lines other than my environment. I'm not somebody who's carrying any 6 colors. And I have an inner vision cognition. So I am purely subjective. And yeah, you can gain something from that subjectivity, of course. A lot of people who are very logical and very splenic are going to be very annoyed because of that. They're not going to like me very much because they see that I'm lacking this one thing that they are carrying. They see the lack of that in me, but it's just not what I'm designed to be in this incarnation. Now, money is something that is a big, big part of this earth, of our current incarnation, and we cannot avoid it. So whenever people get angry at the money question in human design, They're obviously just not aware of where we're living, or they're delusional, or they are on purpose just trying to undermine you and insult you and say that you are materialistic or whatever because you're thinking about these matters. We all need money here. We all need money in this life. And how much we need, it's debatable, right? And it's very individualistic. So, yeah, some countries are cheaper, some countries are more expensive. Some people are designed to have a lot of money, so we can't say, no, money is the not-self thing. It's absolutely not. But we can indeed manipulate it with awareness. So where we find money that is material kind of success, or a mundane success, is among the mundane planets in our magic square, and those are Mercury, Venus, Neptune, and Jupiter. First thing we're going to look at the resonance. Can the mind actually think about these things? Because you can have a person who has zero resonance to any of these 4 planets, and they just can't see it. They're all into the transcendent realm. They do not resonate to the mundane world whatsoever. They can't relate to it, and then what is a natural human thing to do is that we want to push our experience and our belief onto the other. And we're going to say to everybody, money doesn't matter, money doesn't matter. Well, to me, it matters. Look at the resonance that I have here. I have 3 out of 4 planets resonating to. And so that is what my mind is busy with. It's designed to be busy with the mundane realm. It definitely helps that I have a 5 body on top of this. And yeah, I am here to deal with the world, and I feel comfortable in this world. I have a 3rd line mind, so I'm very adaptable in that sense. I can live in a mansion and be very comfortable, but I can also live in a tent in a forest and be very comfortable. I need to go through that period of adjustment, and then I'm fine. And so when you look at my Mercury and what I'm here to communicate in order to gain influence or success or just mundane stability and money, is that I'm here to communicate logic, and that is what I do. That is what I do. If you're following my videos and my posts, people are very often surprised, why am I so logical when there's not much logic in my chart other than my 31-7, which is, once again, 31 is a part of my environment. It's not even a part of the way of thinking, my way of thinking. But 7 will play a big role, and I will talk about that in a bit. But it is my Mercury, and my Mercury is conjunct my moon, as you can see there in the exact same gate, different line, but they're in the same gate, so they are conjunct. And what that tells us is that it's very easy for me to tap into my foundation, to tap into my memory, into what I have taken in, into what I have stored and communicated. Now, when we talk about the 5th lines and practicality, it's not always like an ultimate truth. It's not always a necessity. I'm a 5th line body. I'm not here to speak practicality based on my 5th line body, but I am here to speak it based on the color. I have Mercury in the color 5, and my Mercury, my communication is sensitive to that practicality, to that simplification. And for me, it's not to communicate about like spirituality in a very abstract sense. It might be if I had a color 6, if my Mercury was sensitive to 6, then I would be here to bring out something more kind of poetic and abstract in that sense. But I'm not, and I really don't understand that way. I can accept it. My partner is a very strong 6 line, 6 color person, and the way he communicates is very, very different than me. And for example, when he writes up a post and he says, what do you think of this? I often say, oof, I don't get it. It's too poetic for me. I don't do poetry. And so, like, yeah, the way I bring things out needs to be very clear, very concise, very practical, and you need to be able to apply it as long as you resonate to me, as long as you are on my fractal. Because as I said, my ultimate expression is subjective and not objective. So I can say I'm here to communicate my logic. My logic doesn't have to match your logic because, logic is also very closely related to the experience. They can't go without each other. We have to experience something in order to measure it. We cannot measure an idea that has not been tried out or applied. So we have to go through the experience in order to make it logical. We can say the earth is flat or the earth is round. That was never something we experienced. It was never something we saw with our eyes. So it is a belief. If you choose to pick a side in one of these kinds of debates, you are a believer. You're not a scientist. You're just believing in science over creation, or you're believing creation over science. It's still a belief. If you have experienced it, if you have been up in a rocket and saw it, took a picture of it, and you can say, I saw it, I experienced that this is the shape of our planet. This is logic. This is what's rooted in that evidence. So yeah, everything else is just a belief. The next place is my Venus, and we have a line of a bully, a scary line, a line that I get insulted on the most probably. The funny thing about the first line is that it is about foundations, and when it comes to all the lines of the 34, the way Ra calls them, the bully, it is the mildest one of the bullies. It's the bully that can endure the most, and it snaps after a very, very long time. It's not somebody who loses patience or who is impulsive or who is like very quick to act like that. It's somebody who is insecure. Yeah, of course, we all have a part of a bully somewhere inside of ourselves, but my bully is very insecure. And once again, it's sensitive to the 5. So I cannot bully somebody. I cannot try to influence anybody if my foundation is not impeccable, if it's not rooted in that experience and in that logic. So what I have found is that, yes, I do have a lot of individual insights. I do have a lot of individuality, but still, I do not really share those insights that I cannot work with. I don't share insights that are not practical, and this is how that connects. I get my insights, I get my power, I get the insights about where I can gain power, but I don't express what is not practical, what I cannot logically kind of prove to myself at least. Now, if you know the signs behind your gates and lines, and or if you're skeptical about it, it's nothing to be skeptical about, because Ra actually made this table how each sign correlates to each gate in the Black Book, in the first book. So you can look that up, and I'm sure I've seen a couple of times on Facebook people recreating these charts. So you can look them up online if you're not sure. But if I look at my Mercury, Venus, and Moon, they are all 3 in Sagittarius. So the way, what my standards are, what my values are, and what I'm here to express is that kind of logical spirituality. All 3 of these gates are really mind gates, and they are on my personality side. So yeah, I am here to express a lot of mind stuff. I would even dare to say I'm here to work in this kind of field, in a field of religion, in a field of just spirituality, astrology, human design, all that kind of stuff. You can also see that my Saturn here is 61-1, and even though it's not a part of the mundane, my discipline lays in the occult knowledge, as Ra calls it. My discipline lays in obeying my inner truth, not the universal truth. It's my own truth. It's what's hidden, what's the depths of me. And then when I look at my Jupiter with the gate 7.1, and here we have a part of the channel of the Alpha. So 7 is my conscious one. My law, in order to make money, in order to be successful, there's one rule that I have to stick to, and that is being authoritative. The moment I become friendly with people, the moment I allow people to make bargains with me, a few times I had people who would get a reading from me and then would offer to do something in return rather than paying. The moment I allow this to happen, my reputation goes. I am not anymore seen as a leader, as a teacher, as somebody who is here to turn these insecurities into securities, who is here to teach you about the unknown, who is here to make you familiar with the unknown. I'm no longer taken seriously. So if I allow this to be this logical placement to be influenced by the emotional realm, by me thinking about how the other is going to feel, am I going to be hurtful, are they going to feel a certain way because I was a bit blunt or I was a bit direct, this is where I lose my power. And my favorite place is this Neptune. Ra was really afraid of the Neptune, and he said we should never look into our Neptune because it's gonna pull us into the depths and drown us, and we're gonna get so lost. My Neptune is about making alliances, according to Ra, with people with whom I have a common enemy. So it's grouping together with people not based on what we both have in common and what goals we have and what we work towards, but based on what we don't like or who we don't like. And I very often had these kinds of people approaching me, and I do very, very clearly see how dangerous that can be, because a person that will approach me through gossip or through making up that kind of, let's say, negative alliance will very often, which happened very often, turn against me at one point. And so, yeah, we can talk about one person negatively, and then we lose contact, and then they turn around and they start talking about me negatively. And this is something where I have to be very careful about. And so this is how I'm here to make my money. I'm here to bring you practical things that I have experienced. I'm here to be in my power and not give my power away to others due to my insecurities. I'm here to be authoritative. I'm not here to be everybody's friend. I'm not here to be approachable. And I'm here to be very careful with the enemies that I can make along the way because of these attitudes. Now, yeah, you can be somebody who has zero resonance to this, and money is not your thing. You can't even think about it until you get into aura with somebody who will match these planetary colors, and they will pull these themes out of you. And these are people that you can learn from the most about your process of money making and succeeding in this mundane, earthy way.